Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video. And we did the first 7 stages of Conquest Calamity already, and now it's time to do the next 7 with the Chaos difficulty. So this is just the same stage, just slightly more difficult because of a few things. First off is that they all have a field effect, and it's not the same for every stage, so you gotta keep in mind what is happening here. But for the first fight that we're gonna go into, Void of Chaos, which is the Orc, we have a field effect that says increases the AoE attack of both you and the enemy for the whole fight for 100%, which the Orc does like to do just AoE normal swipes, and so those will take off huge chunks of your HP. But then the actual Orc himself, he got a little bit more HP. He was at like 2.1-ish, I think, for normal, and now it's at 2.7. Much higher stats. I think everything else is fairly the same. But we do have the missions that I've already cleared, but they're pretty much the same as what they were before. So at least 4 physical units, at least 4 magic units, and then 1 free-to-play character in any of those runs. So we'll have 2 clips doing a physical and a magic team, and they will probably have a free-to-play unit in both of them. But let's go ahead and jump into this AoE Orc. Alright, so the first team that we're going to use for the Orc is the Goddess of Destiny team. Very old team. It's generally not considered very good, but we are going to supplement it with some newer support characters. So we've got Bride Murin, who's going to give SHUNA extra damage against Dark, and SHUNA's already light and single target, so that works. We've got the OG Light Masked Hero. Generally not a great unit, but I wanted to keep it relatively reasonable as far as the team is concerned. We've got Divine General Diablo, because he's just too damn good. And then we've got Bride Triya, who now people can get from the flashback shop, so I don't feel as bad using her. And she's also the free-to-play character, so that covers that mission. And then we've got Awakened Isis from Antagonist, EX Unbound. She'll have the ult resistance down and the Drago effect, and then Bride SHUNA as our DPS character. Hopefully I remember to remove that Violet from underneath her, but maybe I don't. But we do have 4 magic characters, SHUNA, Isis, Triya, Diablo, and we have the 1 free-to-play, so that does cover 2 of the missions. Okay, well, sad news is that I did not swap the Violet support off of Bride SHUNA, so she could have been even stronger, technically, but we were dumb, so oh well. But what we did get is 5 hero orbs, which is great, because that means we can just steal into 6 SHUNA orbs, which 3 of them are green, so they're going to be buffed by Diablo's skill. Works out very well. We'll bring Isis in, so we keep Triya in the back for her orb-changing capabilities. And that, alongside her trait, should get us to the EX ult turn 2. Well, turn 1, technically. And then, yeah, okay, we get more SHUNA orbs, so that's fine and all. And then, yep, there we go. The trait kicks in, we get the EX ult, so we're good to go. Let's use the light and crit damage buff now, and then we'll send her away, because I want to hold on to this. We're going to get stunned next turn, so you go away, Triya comes in. We have enough points to do a full convert here, right? Yes. So self-convert, and then the special convert with Triya gives us a full hand of greens, which are going to be buffed up by Murin. They're going to get like 70% extra skill points or something, maybe 100. I can't remember exactly what Murin does. But then we're going to take Triya out for the hero. She's also light, so she'll do okay damage. And then we'll also have the follow-up orbs. So even if SHUNA's single target nuke is not directly strong enough to one-shot, we will have some extra damage to follow up with, and maybe that will kill the Orc instead. So, okay, cheeky counters, doing quite a bit of damage. I mean, he did a lot of damage on his first swipe, and he will continue to do some. And then here's the follow-up orbs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then there's the stun, and there's a single target hit. Like, he still takes off chunks with his normal single hit, but he's going to take off even more when he does the AoE, because he's got that extra 100% AoE buff. And now here we can't really do anything, so we might as well just send whatever we have the most of, and get some points out of it. There's a swipe, and yeah, 7,000 a hit against Isis, so you really can't stay in this fight too long. But let's use the synergy buff right now. We have roughly enough points. Like, we could push an extra turn if we wanted to. That way we could have the Drago effect as well. But really not feeling it. So let's just go ahead and use the synergy. Use the 120% ult resistance down, plus the magic down comes with that skill from Isis. Shuna comes in. We'll reapply the follow-up orbs. She already has the light and the crit damage buff from her personal skill. And then we'll send this. And Shuna does 1.9 million. And then follow-ups. And then he dies to the 364k follow-up ult orb. So we are strong enough. And we weren't actually technically like fully buffed. We didn't have the Drago effect. We didn't have the extra orb damage from the light hero, which could have enhanced our normal orb capacity as well. So you definitely could have pushed to turn 5 and done that and really made sure you killed him. And as you can see, I did not swap the Violet off, but it was enough. So there's one team makeup you can do. That's the magic-oriented one. Let's come back with the physical. All right. This is endgame content, so I'm not gonna mince my words with, oh well, this is a nice free-to-play team. No, we're gonna go in pretty hard. So we've got New Year's Blessing, a fairly old team, yeah, from over a year ago, but we're gonna supplement its damage with the new Warrior's Mind 2.0 Blanc, who just literally doubles all of our damage output. And because this is an orange team, she actually works triple well because of the gauge increase and the skill points that we get, which technically isn't limited to an orange team, but it will help. So Rimuru, obviously our single target nuking character with the personal buffs and the rainbow orb change. Diablo is free to play. Shinsha and Milim are supports. Everyone on this team is physical, so that's that mission done. And since Diablo's free, we technically also completed that mission again. But let's go ahead and find out where I started this run. Okay, here we are. So turn 1, I reset a lot of these to get decent starting hands, and 5 Rimuru orbs is what I would consider a decent hand. So we're just going to... we could send the Diablo orb to Rimuru, or we could just rainbow. Really up to you. I decide to rainbow here, and then we'll bring Milim in, and we'll bring Blanc in for their protection gauge buffs, which we don't really need that much because we're sending 5 rainbows, but it certainly will get us close. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, well, not 5, but there's a cheeky counter. 15k a hit is pretty decent. And we have his EX ult. So, well, almost his EX ult. But because we have Shinsha who's able to ult swap, that's going to guarantee that we can get his EX ult. Or we just don't do anything here. So we're just a tiny bit shy. Not a big deal. We can either use Milim's Future Hand of Orange skill, which we could do, or we just leave him in here. So let's do the extra gauge plus the 40 skill points, which we didn't really need to do, but hey, it helps us out. Let's alt swap, and then we can use Xion to change the rest of the orbs to oranges. Even though they're nerfed, we are getting a decent amount of it back, and we had almost capped out points anyways. Alright, cheeky counter. So now we have the EX ult. We're going to get stunned. Nothing we can really do about that. So we're just going to have to burn a turn here. We are going to get extra skill points. All right, double counter. We are going to get extra skill points because we're just not doing anything. So 180 points. We'll send whatever we have here that's available and just get some extra gauge out of it. So, we could send all 3 of these, but there we go. And now we're going to be at 210 points. Turn 4. And Rimuru is almost dead. So I leave him in like an idiot, which could have been quite dangerous, but it's fine because he lives with a nut tap of HP. If you were smarter, you would have taken him out, but I'm not. But we do have enough points to use pretty much everything we need to here. So boom, boom, boom. We have the extra 40 points in our back pocket, which is actually only 20 because now the skill costs 20 points, but that does enable us to use both of the 2 skills from the backline units. So Milim's 40-point buff, and then the debuff, crit debuff from Diablo. Just enough to use everything. And now we have both Shinsha normal ult and a Rimuru EX ult, guaranteed crit, guaranteed synergy, plus all the other buffs we've got going on, plus the gigantic Blanc buff. So let's send Shinsha, Rimuru, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Shinsha does 457. RIMURU does 3.4 million damage. And we naturally pierce there as well, which is cool. Didn't need it, though. But there we go. There is the physical and free-to-play unit mission done for the Orc. So we've got all the missions cleared. Let me know in the comments if you used a different team that wasn't Reckoning or Freerin to do this stage. But that's it from me. Take it easy, and I'll see you all later.